At this point, we don't even know who to believe anymore because on one side, we have ADC saying APC used INEC to destroy them. On the other side, we also have APC calling it propaganda. And here is Kenneth Okonkwo saying APC is simply scared of competition, and that's one of the reasons they are trying to use INEC to destroy their party. 3 different voices, 3 very different stories, and trust me, you don't want to miss this update. By now, you have heard that INEC deleted David Mark and Aregbesola from their portal. Now, ADC called it a political attack, demanded the INEC chairman sack. But APC has their own side of the story, and the debate that followed on both Arise News and Channels Television was serious. I'm going to let you hear all the 3 sides, and then you decide who is telling the truth. Firstly, ADC spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi sat down on Arise News and went straight for APC's throat. He said this is not just an internal party crisis, this is a calculated plan to create a one-party state before 2027. Here's exactly what he said. Take a listen.
Here is Felix Morka, the National Public Secretary of APC, arguing on trying to defend what INEC has done and what INEC has said.
Well, I mean, you have also accused the APC of being behind all of the crises and all of that. So that's why they are actually replying you too.
They cannot. Yesterday, Bayo Ononuga, another spokesman of the president, tweeted a picture of Nafi Bala as the national chairman. So, and you are still asking me why we know they are behind it. The Yoruba
so are you saying that the Bolaji government is behind your travails?
It, and they are saying, what I'm saying is that from day one, it is part of the orchestrated plan. They don't want an opposition party in Nigeria. And that's why we say, look, INEC doesn't need to spend 1 trillion naira conducting an election. They can buy the most expensive crown in the world and put it in the head of President Bola Tinubu, and let's know we have a monarchy.
Yeah, but the national chairman has then gone ahead to warn you that if you do go ahead with your congresses and the convention, you risk being like Zamfara and Plateau State.
No.
And you don't think that will be so?
No, you see, Somna, Professor Amukpito, with due respect, is a professor of law, so he must know what he's talking about. But what we don't understand is what is it that they have on him that will make a man like that to want to piece on his track record, on his legacy, because he knows very well that we have notified INEC as the law required, giving them 21 days notice. They have accepted the notice, and there is nothing in the law that says, in fact, the law says, INEC may, I'm not a lawyer, but this is what the lawyers do, INEC may attend and observe such.
That was in the 2022 electoral act.
May.
In the new electoral act 2026, I think it says INEC shall.
For primaries.
Okay.
For primaries.
Okay.
But this congresses and convention, as the lawyer pointed out, is just affirmatory. The APC, you see, I don't know if they know what they are flirting with. We may know the beginning of a crisis. There's another one that's even equally serious. That it's only the APC today that is comfortable with it. INEC's decision to start voter revalidation,
yeah, which a lot of people.
few months to an election. This is a deliberate attempt to cause chaos and render 2027 election inconclusive, because or a deliberate attempt to suppress voting, especially in the north, because if you know the terrain, it is difficult enough to get people to register to vote. Now, if you are now asking people who are struggling to eat, people who are looking for food, people who are looking for medicine, people who have been thrown into poverty because of APC to now go and start queuing up to revalidate their vote. I mean, that is like saying, don't even bother to come and vote.
Come out for elections.
So this is all that they are doing, and then we can see there's no way they can get away with this.
Now, APC's Felix Morka was also on that same program, and he was not having any of it. He called the allegations propaganda and said ADC should stop blaming APC for their own internal mess. Here's his response.
The ADC is a joke. They're a big joke. On what basis? On what legal facility would they do that? But I'm not surprised, because the ADC has done a whole lot since its creation that I struggle to understand. I just listened to a portion of your program where you had the gentleman who claims to be one of the lawyers for the ADC, basically, making a lot of commentary that leaves me wondering, as a lawyer myself, what he's doing, what he's actually saying. Because anyone who is paying attention, who has paid attention to the case that led to the decision by the Court of Appeal, will conclude inevitably that the lawyers in this matter have completely underserved the ADC. They've acted very incompetently as far as I'm concerned. Because, how do you go from responding to a lawsuit filed by someone who claims to be the national chairman of the party because he says that he has not resigned or didn't resign his position prior to all of the activities that led to the emergence of the purported, factional chairman of the party, David Mark. And the court says, look, listen, come and show cause while the order of injunction that was sought should not be granted. And then a lawyer goes to the Court of Appeal to appeal what was in fact not a decision of court. It was an order that was routine. Come and show cause. It was actually the court doing ADC a favor, giving ADC the opportunity to come to court and, provide information why this, order that was sought by this litigant shouldn't be granted. The court was being very, was granting extra fair hearing to ADC. But how did they react? ADC and their lawyers decided to appeal, an order of or whatever the court said to come and show cause. Look, that's just, completely ridiculous. Now, you get a Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal says, look, listen, you are here prematurely. There's really no cause for you to be here because there's no order for you to come to, Court of Appeal to litigate. And then secondly, any lawyer knows that, when you have an interlocutory situation where a court makes an order while the case is pending, before the determination of that, matter, that you seek the leave of court before appealing. It's not a final judgment where you have an appeal, where you are entitled to appeal as of right. You seek the leave of court. But the ADC, again, didn't bother to get leave of court. They rushed to the Court of Appeal. What did you expect will come out of that appeal? Why would we be afraid of 2027 of a party that has not even started to, enact its footprint on the political sands of Nigeria? The electorate are not amused by this whole cacophony put up by the ADC. Opposition is not about noise making and issuing press statements and accusing the ruling party. What are we supposed to do? In fact, this afternoon, Sumner, I joked with my colleague and I said maybe it's time for us to create a department for the effective management of opposition parties within the APC and have a director, there to help them to manage their affairs. Because the way they accuse us is as though they're expecting the APC to manage them, help them litigate their cases and handle their business. We won't do that. Mr. Bolaji, my friend, I see you laughing, but we're not going to help you with that at all. It's your business. You solve it yourself. Now, I'm still waiting for one of you giants in the media to come up with, something that resembles, some evidence of APC's involvement in these parties we talk about. You see, we, under a democracy, we bear no responsibility to help the opposition to manage themselves or to conduct their business. That's not our job. Our job is to focus on us. That's what we're doing. They have failed to solve their own problems, to manage themselves, to govern themselves, and we will not be held responsible for the utter dismal failure of the ADC or any other opposition party in this country. We won't be.
Then again, Kenneth Okonkwo went on Channels Television, Sunrise Daily, and he brought out a completely different energy. He said, APC is not doing this by accident. They are simply doing it because they are genuinely afraid of what ADC, Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, David Mark, El-Rufai are becoming ahead of 2027. Kindly take a listen.
A few Wombe on the 17th May 2025 by a letter dated by him on that date, resigned, and the APC started doing their ojoro. They went back to him and they are using him, thinking he can truncate ADC.
How do you say for sure?
APC is desperate.
Is there any proof?
His resignation is in his handwriting.
Yeah, but is there any proof that it's ADC that's responsible for that?
Don't mistake ADC with that demonic party.
Any proof that is APC that is asking him to do what he's doing?
Well,
he's a grown man.
We are politicians. What is his motive? Not to be anything in ADC. He has resigned, but to truncate ADC. Now, as I was saying, because APC now is insisting, a lawyer went to court seeking for some reliefs. And you are now saying, when the court has not ruled anything, that your relief has been granted. That's what they are saying. This is the second letter they are writing to INEC. If you check the first one, they wrote the first one, March 16th. And when INEC treated their letter for what it is, useless letter, they are writing another one. You know why? Because APC now is insisting, putting pressure on Josh Amopito that he must act on this.
How do you substantiate that?
Have you substantiated whether I've eaten this
Show
money or not?
something.
Good.
You're a lawyer. You know that
very good.
There's gotta be something.
Very good. You want me to say that?
Show the films.
We are not tapping the line of anybody.
Thing when I saw this.
Right in second. If somebody does not obey the court order, in your own estimate, what do? You go to court by section 158 and section 160 of the Nigerian Constitution. INEC is not under any authority or any person in the rules they follow and in the manner they do their things. And these people are trying to put pressure on INEC, being used by APC, even after they know that the person they are representing has resigned officially from ADC. What do you want me to call them? If you do that, if INEC does that, know that it is APC that did it. We have it on authority.
Not based on this letter.
No, they're using this letter. That's what I'm saying. INEC, they wrote it the first time, March 16th. If you read this one, if it's the second one, they referred to the March 16th letter in their first paragraph. INEC, okay, why would INEC now listen to them if they didn't listen for the first one, which had the same reliefs? What has changed? Pressure from APC.
According to you?
No, INEC, they wrote the first one, March 16th. They referred to it.
The letters, yes.
Good.
But you say the pressure part.
What changed between March 16th and March 25? Pressure from APC.
All right.
So there you have it. ADC on one side says this is political assassination. On the other side, we have APC saying ADC is deflecting from their own internal failures. And we have Kenneth Okonkwo, who is a lawyer. He says fear is driving everything. So the real question is simple. If APC was not worried about ADC, would any of this be happening? Please feel free to drop your honest opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Kindly help us to share this video. Let's keep everyone informed. And by the way, I have a lot of content on my channel that you don't want to miss. Check them out. I'll see you soon.